Hi, everybody. How are you? How's it going? Excited to be here again today. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I have my hat on today because for some reason I've been getting chills. I'm fine, I'm fine. But yeah, so this is Worship with Gladys. That's my handle. My name is Gladys, of course, and this is God Conversations. And this is day 4 of something that I have to say it was an idea that came to me, but I wasn't sure how it was going to form. But it's forming, and so I'm going to be doing this 15-minute uh I don't even know what to call it, talk on the things that have helped me in 2020 that I will be taking into 2021, and the things that I'm going to be dropping, okay, and the things that I'm going to be doing. So help me God. All right. So this is day 4, as I said. And on day 1 and 2, on day 1, I talked about clean up the debris, clean up the things that you do not necessarily have to go with you into the new year. And excuse me for a little bit because I have to quickly share myself out. Start a watch party on one of the other pages. So just a minute. Anyway, how is everybody doing? It's December 4th. I mean, I am like, I don't even know what to say. It's already December 4th, people. Can you believe it? Anyway, today I wanted to talk about intentionality. And it may not be in how you, where you think I'm going with this one, because even I started to laugh when I saw this. So let me just put that out there that I'm on. Join me. Okay, so and that's done. And bye bye. Okay, I think I did something wrong. Yeah, here. So let's talk. So I want to talk about intentionality. Okay, so I made a note here. So, and I think I am talking about that because of how I saw God move for me this year. I know 2 people have joined, but for some reason I can't tell who it is. Now I see 3. Okay, but whoever you are, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for kicking it with me for the next 15 minutes. I pray that you'll be blessed and you will get something out of this. But I was talking about intentionality, and I want to come from somewhere, not something that you would think. Okay, I'm confusing myself now too. But this year, one of the things that really I saw happen a lot with me was that I would get an idea to do something, and then it would be like, okay, how am I going to do this? To the point where in the past I would just, once I didn't understand how I was going to get it done, I would just, hi, how are you, Tanha? I would just like stop, like I wouldn't do it anymore just because I didn't want to go through all the issues, all the problems that may come with it. But then I shifted, right? I shifted and I started to pray and I started to say, okay, Lord, if you're bringing this into my mind or my heart as something that I need to do, then I need people. I started to intentionally pray for the people that God will bring my way. So that's where I'm coming from here, where if I'm going to do anything in 2020, one of the biggest things for me in 2021 is I know, the things that I want to do. I know the things that I need to be doing, but I also know that I can't do them alone. So me talking about intentionality today is saying that I am going to intentionally start to pray. Actually, I've started to intentionally pray about the people that God is going to bring into my circle, because that is very, very important. Okay, but then the other thing is be intentional about friendships. Be intentional about friendships. There are, and I say that with the understanding that there are some friends that are in your life for a season. There are some that are there for the long haul. And so we need to recognize those, recognize people that come into our lives for a season, and people that come in and they, so as and I'm going to say it in form of assignments. Okay, there are people who have longer assignments in your life, and there are people who have shorter ones. What happens is we try to be holding on to the ones that have shorter assignments. We try to hold on to the ones with the shorter assignments, and that's when the relationship starts to fizzle, like the friendship starts to fizzle. Oh, she doesn't call me the way she used to. He Well, I'll say she, because normally it would happen more with women, right? So, oh, she doesn't talk to me the way that she normally would. She doesn't kick it with me anymore. She doesn't. Sometimes what that person came to do was help you, hold your hand through a certain phase, was hold your hand through a certain problem. But once it's done, you be don't get guilty about letting them go. There are people, as a matter of fact, the person that I'm going to interview tomorrow on Good Conversations, our weekly Saturday ones, the person I'm going to be talking to tomorrow, she came into my life at a time when I was a teenager. Okay, she was my choir director. I was a teenager. I was going through all kinds of so many things at home, and I thank God that she came into my life at that time. Even she didn't know it. Okay, but I'm glad that she came into my life at that time. But then fast forward, when I left the country, I left the country I left Nigeria over 2 decades ago. And we didn't reconnect. After I left, we didn't reconnect until like 5 years ago. This is a person that had an assignment to be in my life for the duration of the time that I was in the choir. And now, 5 years, after a long time, we reconnected 5 years ago. Okay. I don't know what that means, crink crink, but um anyway, thank you. So we were connected. So don't try to hold on to be intentional about your friendships. Be intentional, not even just friendships. Be intentional about your associations, right? Who you associate with, who you hang around with. Be intentional, okay? They should not be pulling you far away from God. They should be pulling you towards God. They should be Your relationships should be pointing you towards God, not away. Okay. So the other thing is that also understand that people are going to come into your lives, and they're going to leave. It's fine, perfectly fine, perfectly okay. Once they're done with whatever it is that God has brought them into your life to do, it's perfectly fine. You will be okay. Trust me, you will be okay. Okay. Now, there was a scripture that I was reading this morning on my uh, during my devotion that I wanted to share with someone. If you catch this on the replay, okay, this is Worship with Gladys, and this is God Conversations, and this is a daily talk I'm going to be having for the whole of December. Even with the Saturday 3 p.m., we'll still do this one at 6 p.m. Okay. But I had a scripture that I wanted to share. I don't know why I felt so drawn to read that scripture to you. So if you get it tomorrow, whenever you bump onto this video and you watch it, I hope this ministers to you. And it was Jeremiah 30:31, I think it was. And well, up until Jeremiah 30, I think there wasn't a lot of positivity. But then Jeremiah 30:31, I think 1 to 5, if I can just open it, it will open. Okay, 31. So and then and when that happens, God's decree, it will be plain. So remember, they were coming from all kinds of issues, problems. So let's take it as the pandemic. We have been in this corona thing, and a lot of things have happened. There are people who have lost jobs. There are people who have lost, I mean, people who have lost family, loved ones, and things like that. And I'm sorry for that. Um, and so this is like the Israelites. They had gone through all kinds of things, and this is God saying to them, so God had told him, like, kind of bring a scroll and write down everything I'm giving you. And this is what God was saying. When that happens, God's decree, it will be plain as the sun at high noon. I will be the God of every woman, every man, woman, and child in Israel, and they shall be my very own people. This is the way God put it. And this is the message version. But what really pulled me to this scripture was um in verse, it's part of it. So between one and, okay, message sometimes doesn't give you the exact verse that you're reading from, but in from two, it says, this is the way God put it. They found grace out in the desert. These people who survived the killing, Israel out looking for a place to rest, met God out looking for them. Israel looking for a place to rest, met God out looking for them. This scripture, it was very deep for me. The Israelites were out looking for a place to rest, but they met God looking for them. And it reminds me of one of my devotionals that I read earlier. I think it was in late October. One of A.W. Tozer's, and he talked about when we say that we're running, we're seeking after God. It's actually God is actually drawing us to Him, and this scripture actually kind of makes me remember that one, because look, it said they found grace out in the desert. So if this pandemic felt like a desert to you, and you are looking for a place to rest, know that God is stretching out his arm to guide you and to give you the peace that you need, and to give you the peace, the rest that you so crave. And that rest can only be found in God. And so, talking about intentionality now, we have to be intentional about seeking God. We have to be intentional about understanding that God is with us at all times, and He knows our every need, and He knows our every thought, and He sees every tears, and He sees, what you're thinking. He knows how you're feeling. And if you reach out, His God is right there. God is as close as the air that you breathe. He is that close to you. And so, 2021, I will be intentional about who comes into my circle, because I will be praying for who comes into my circle. And I also understand that God is waiting for me. God is there with arms outstretched wide for me to just put my hand in His, and we can walk together. So that's the thing. I'm going to be intentional about walking with God. I'm going to be intentional about my prayer life, intentional about who comes into my circle and who leaves. And a lot of that is going to be you being sensitive to the voice of God, being very, 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 very sensitive. Maybe tomorrow I'll talk about that sensitivity bit, because the past few days it's been like a roller coaster. Like, when I want to, there things were happening around me, and when I would want to panic, I would just hear His voice saying, "I got that. I got that. I got that. Don't fret. Don't fret. Do not, right. Do not fret." Hi, Blessing. How are you? Yes, that rest can only be found in God. And God knows our every need, and He knows your thought. He knows everything. Even when I started to panic and get anxious about these things, it was like I would just, it was very quiet, like, no, I've got it. I have it. I do not worry about it. Do not fret. I believe the word I heard was, do not fret. I have got you. And everything that I wanted to do, everything that was causing me the anxiety, actually, but I had directions for where I was supposed to go get things done, and it was so easy. And I still don't even know why I was starting to get anxious, right? So thank you so much for joining me. I said this was going to be 15 minutes. I don't want to go back on my own word, but again, we need to be intentional about going to 2020. Be intentional. That's one of the things I'm taking into 2020, 2021. Being intentional about things, especially about the people who come into my circle and who leave. Be intentional. Be sensitive. They have come for if they're on an assignment. If God is giving an assignment for you, for them to do in your life for 3 months, they should not do 3 months and a day, right? They should not do 3 months and a day. So intentionality about who comes into your life, who comes into your circle, and pray about whether it's a business decision, whether it's a family decision, whatever it is. Be intentional about praying and getting God's say so, and getting God's direction and getting God's instructions about what is it that we're doing here. And that was my video yesterday. So if you haven't already seen those, I have two already out. For day one, it was titled Clean Up on Aisle 2020, and day 2 and 3 was the decision that I would not do anything in 2021 without asking the Lord's direction, not ask without asking whether this was God's will. Because when I didn't, I knew what happened. There was anxiety and there was stress and all that. So everybody, stay blessed, stay safe, and stay in the Word. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye.